It has been 2 years since NASA's James Webb Telescope gave us a stunning first look at the depths of our universe.
The world first started seeing spectacular images of the cosmos that were captured by the powerful James Webb Telescope.
It has been 2 years since NASA's James Webb Telescope gave us a stunning first look at the depths of our universe. The world first started seeing spectacular images of the cosmos that were captured by the powerful James Webb Telescope 3 years ago. NASA's James Webb Telescope gave us a breathtaking look into the very deepest parts of the universe. There have always been mysteries in the world, but what the James Webb Space Telescope just found is beyond our wildest dreams. The new pictures that have been sent back from the farthest reaches of space are both beautiful and very scary. Get ready to go on an adventure into the unknown as we show you the scary new pictures that the James Webb Telescope has taken. What mysteries of the universe have we found? What does this mean for how we think about the universe? Let's look into these new finds that have never been seen before and look into the strange things happening in space that are shocking and frightening. Scientists and researchers have been excited about the James Webb Telescope ever since it was first put into service. Even though it's only been in use for 3 years, it has already seen many things in our very large universe and found new things since it got to its faraway star. The infrared telescope has given scientists and astronomers stunning views of the universe. Researchers were very excited to see the first scientific pictures taken by the telescope, which was the biggest and most powerful space telescope ever built. The scientific community is shocked and quiet about its most current picture, though. This amazing find was made by the JWST when it pointed its tools at the famous pillars of creation, which are about 7,000 light-years away in the constellation Serpens. Since then, experts have been amazed by what it has found in this mysterious place. The Eagle Nebula is made up of the pillars of creation. The Hubble Space Telescope took the first picture of this large cloud of gas and dust in 1995, but the new picture from the James Webb Telescope showed even more amazing details. Stars that weren't visible in the Hubble picture sparkled in it, and some of them were formed only a few 100,000 years ago. Despite the fact that scientists were amazed by their amazing discoveries, they couldn't help but think, what if these buildings were actually built by intelligent beings from other planets? Could they be alien landmarks? The thought of such a reveal happening gave them chills. But the JWST wasn't going to put its feet up just yet. With yet another stunning picture, the James Webb Space Telescope looked at Pandora's cluster, an area of space with an interesting past that was named after the Greek goddess Pandora. Pandora was known for being very curious, and it is thought that she opened a box that let all the bad things and problems into the world. But Webb's study of Pandora's cluster did not let any bad things happen. Instead, it focused on a certain area of space, using a theory that Albert Einstein came up with in 1915. This produced an amazing picture that shocked scientists. This new picture of Pandora's cluster, which used to be called Hubble 2744, showed features in the area that had not been seen before. The Hubble Space Telescope had only looked at the center of this space, but the James Webb Telescope's infrared instruments showed a lot of hidden information that still needs to be figured out. The scientists who worked on the JWST quickly understood that they were on a very special mission to observe things as part of the ultra-deep near-cam observations for the Epoch of Reionization program. They used Webb's large telescope's near-infrared spectrograph and near-infrared camera to make a set of careful observations that gave them a full picture of Pandora cluster. The team used the JWST to take 4 pictures of the area and then carefully put them all together to make a stunning panoramic picture. This amazing picture showed an incredible 50,000 sources giving off infrared light, showing what Pandora's cluster, which is about 3.5 billion light-years away, is really like. This panoramic picture gave us a wide and deep view that could fundamentally change how we think about how galaxies evolved. A bright star from our own Milky Way galaxy was visible in the middle of this beautiful picture. The star showed unique diffraction spikes, a beautiful image made by the James Webb Telescope. Clusters of bright white light shimmered in this beautiful scene, surrounded by an ethereal haze. These were the galaxies of Pandora's cluster, which were much farther away than the star in the center. Our very advanced technology was very helpful in recording this beautiful view of the sky, But astronomers also used a natural event that Albert Einstein talked about in his groundbreaking work on general relativity in 1915. This theory of gravity, called general relativity, was very helpful in figuring out what the observed cluster of clusters was all about. But this was just the start. In addition to the amazing finding, the James Webb Telescope saw something else that very nearly defies all scientific explanation. It found yet another interesting picture that clearly showed a set of strange concentric rings surrounding a star far away. Scientists from all over the world have been confused ever since this picture came to Earth. A citizen scientist named Judy Schmidt posted this mysterious picture on Twitter, which quickly sparked a flood of comments and confusion in the online community. The star in question, WR140, was ringed by regular circles that looked like ripples and slowly faded away into the infinite black hole. But what caught people's attention most about the picture was that the circles weren't perfectly round. Instead, they looked a bit like squares, which led to ideas and guesses about possible alien origins. Along with Schmidt, scientists and observers from all over the world soon found themselves thinking about how strange the ring's shape and pattern were. Soon, another space expert, Mark Mogan, called the feature crazy on Twitter. Mogan is a generalist scientist in the JWST Science Working Group and a science advisor to the European Space Agency. However, more research showed that the six-pointed blue structure was just a mistake caused by the bright star WR140's diffraction. They were surprised by these shells, which looked like red, curved, and boxy shapes. Young stars usually shine brightly and are a bright blue color. As stars get older, though, they change and become redder as they cool down and use up their fuel. Webb saw fiery dots in the deep fields that were 50 times denser than galaxies that were known at the time. Surprisingly, these galaxies were thought to be as big as the Milky Way when the universe was only 3% as old as it is now. One of the astronomers looking into these results, Leah, said she was amazed by what she had found. She thought that the speed with which these huge galaxies formed after the Big Bang called into question current ideas about the universe. But astronomers had to make sure that the red dots they saw were really galaxies before they could completely change their ideas regarding them. Leah thought of other possible reasons and thought that stars in the early universe might have given off light in strange ways because they didn't have any heavy elements. Adding these things to their models could completely change how we think about how stars formed in the early universe. Astronomers are very excited about these options because they could give them new information about how stars are born for the Cosmic Evolution Early Release Science program. Webb's near-infrared camera was used to take the pictures. Soon, astronomers will focus the telescope's mirror on these galaxies again, but this time they will do it to get light spectra. NASA scientists think that the spectra will help them figure out what the light sources are made of chemically and physically. It is also believed that these spectra will be very important for figuring out the exact distances to objects in space, which will tell us a lot about what those objects are. What's even more interesting is that scientists had to change their ideas about how the universe began just over 6 months after the first observations from the Webb telescope were made public. It turned out that the JWST was about to make another amazing find. Scientists looked more closely at the picture and saw what looked like a spinning wormhole inside a beautiful phantom galaxy. The phantom galaxy, also called NGC 628 or Messier 74, was shown in this new picture with its mysterious glow. The famous scientist Judy Schmidt carefully made this creepy picture with Webb's mid-infrared instrument, which is located nearly 1 million miles from Earth. It is called the perfect spiral because of how perfectly it is symmetrical, and the magnified picture brings out the details of the galaxy's dust lanes. But what really interests scientists is the idea that there is an intermediate mass black hole at the center of this cosmic wonder. A lot of professional photographers have taken pictures of this galaxy before, including from the Hubble Space Telescope and the Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer. But Webb's pictures really stand out because they focus on the mid-infrared range and show off the cosmic dust that is inside the galaxy. NASA astronomers say that Webb's unmatched power, along with its unique 18-segment hexagonal mirror and smart location in deep space, is what makes this picture so detailed. Scientists were still trying to figure out what was going on in the phantom galaxy when the James Webb Space Telescope saw something else very strange during its first round of observations. Webb found huge faraway galaxies that were not what was expected. Nearly as big as our own Milky Way, these galaxies were full of adult red stars spread out across the universe. Telescopes could only see them as tiny reddish dots. Astronomers thought they were seeing the universe in its early stages, just 500 to 700 million years after the Big Bang. By looking closely at the light these galaxies gave off, it's no surprise that these early galaxies exist. Astronomers thought that the first star groups would form soon after the universe came out of its dark ages, a time when hydrogen atoms were very dense. But the Webb telescope revealed galaxies that existed when the universe was only 3% of its current age. It also showed evidence that stars may have been much more capable of shining brightly than had been thought. So what do these discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope mean for the future of astronomy? How will they change the way we understand the universe? Let's take a closer look at these changes and how they will shape the next generation of scientists.